Hey, good morning, everyone. Have I got a word for you today? Hey, I was sitting there praying and talking with my wife this morning. We were talking about this is the Passover week. This is the week before Good Friday, before Resurrection Sunday. It's the week that, if you think about the activities that Jesus walked through during this week, it's heartbreaking, it's mind-boggling, it's intriguing, it's all these things. But I opened up the Bible and was looking back. I was looking in Luke, just reading through some of the book of Luke on that last week of Jesus's life. But I got to Luke chapter 22, verse 56, and it's talking about Peter, and after they've already seized Christ, and how Jesus tells them, hey, you're going to disown me 3 times before the rooster crows. But they'd already seized Jesus. They've got him in the gate. He's in there amongst the religious folks. Those folks, some folks like that. But anyway, here in verse 56, it's Bible sound that spoke to me, and I believe it'll speak to you. And the servant girl saw him seated there in the firelight. She looked closely at him and said, this man was with him. The servant girl was looking at Peter. Peter had went in through the gate and he was sitting by the fire. But I'll tell you what spoke to me this morning is when people see my life, is there enough evidence to convict me of am I guilty of being with Jesus? Is there enough evidence where somebody looks at my life and says, he was with him, he was one of them, he's one of them and one of those Christians? So as I read that, a servant girl, this old world's looking at us, watching you day in and day out. Saw him sitting there by the fire. He's sitting there, he's hanging out by the fire, hanging out with his peeps. Maybe you're hanging out at the clubhouse, you're hanging out at your ministry house at work or whatever. And she looked closely at him. When your world is looking closely at you, what do they see? What do they see? And is your world going to say, this man, that guy right there, that bearded fella, that lady there, she was with him? Is your world going to say that you've been hanging with Jesus? Does your life reflect Jesus Christ and the gospel thereof? So I'm not trying to make anybody feel guilty about anything. That's from the devil. I'm just, it convicted me in a manner of, what will people say? Will they say he was one of them? I want you to noodle on that. I want you to know that Jesus loves you. Have a blessed day.